there, it's Dr. Amanda Noel, the founder of Aphrodite University, helping divine feminine entrepreneurs launch their sexy six-figure blissnesses in 12 months. Today I'm going to talk about how to optimize your blissness if you've experienced sexual abuse. This is a topic that I was requested to do a video or class about, so I decided to dive in because I've had so many clients of mine who have experienced sexual trauma, sexual shame, some type of abuse, either psychic, physical, verbal, emotional abuse as a child, and it's really stuck with them. So this is a topic that you probably won't see people talk about as much in the business world, but if you are a woman and this has happened to you, or it's happened to your mother or a friend or a sister, and it's impacted you, this will be holding you back in your blissness. It will hold you back from making money, from feeling safe to go out and speak. You may notice yourself procrastinating from doing these videos or from really getting out there speaking on stage because you don't feel safe. Or every time you're exchanging money, it's like exchanging sexual energy, and you will feel like an ickiness or a no energy, or like you're slutting yourself out. So when we heal ourselves on a sacred sexual level, then we can really get the flow of cash coming, what I call holy matrimony. In order to be in this state, you have to really heal the past. You have to heal your child. I've noticed that a lot of divine feminine entrepreneurs will actually launch their blissnesses only to hit a wall of past unconscious, subconscious pain. And what will happen is it will purge out old debris from past lives, from early childhood, whatever is telling them, no, you can't have the life that you want. You should be ashamed, or you should be terrified because I'm going to get you. All of these weird beliefs that I believe are holographically connected to the ancient story of the fallen high priestess. She has many names: Mary Magdalene or Medusa. I mean, there's just so many different archetypes of the female that's been defiled, raped, or ravished, and she can't step up to her twin flame or step up into her power again as a queen. So I argue that all of us are holding on to this past story where we, as high priestesses, as we resurrect ourselves in the name of the Holy One and the divine feminine half of that we are putting back the pieces of this puzzle, or of the shattered mirror, the mirror of Magdalene. And in this process, we may hold shards that have a lot of trauma on them. So as our soul heals and returns to its wholeness, we're going to have to go back to the past and remember. This happens not only in blissness, I see it happening with my twin flame clients. Many people tell me they go through a dark night of the soul, remembering, old repressed memories, having like a terrible couple of months or years. And we need to really hold space for this. We need to start talking about it in our blissnesses, in our lives. What I'm seeing is that there's a surge in the blissness world where women are actually helping other women to heal these traumas. It's important to, of course, refer your clients to a therapist, to a professional, if they are going through a major abuse cycle where they're unstabilized. So I want to reflect that back to you, which is that if you're going through this unveiling of this giant dark space, hire somebody who's really a pro at mastering this, who's seen it time and time and again. I want you to know that there is healing out there. I've seen this for so many of my friends, my clients. You do get help. You go to the whatever level of healing you need, which you're guided to do, whether it's private therapy, a combination of private and group therapy. There are just so many great resources, but don't just tell a friend and let that be enough. Don't just start coaching and have a business coach try and coach you around your pain. You really need somebody that specializes in sexual trauma. Same thing with your clients. You're going to refer him or her out to a resource, and then when this person or the next client has come in because they're emotionally stabilized, they're no longer in that trauma wound, and you're no longer in that trauma wound, because it's really important to really be emotionally stable if you are holding space. You do have this amazing gift because you've gone through the darkness. You are initiated. Just like in the ancient mystery schools of Egypt, they would swim through tunnels where they were underwater little tiny holes and there were crocodiles and you had to get through it. You went through the bardo, the hell. And so if you've gone through sexual trauma, be proud. Speak to, possibly even be open about this, because we really need to unveil our shame. 1 out of 4 women have been raped in their freshman year of college. 1 out of 5, and these are just statistics. I don't know if they're quite right, but I know they're somewhat accurate. 1 out of 5 children have been sexually abused. And I would say every single one of us has experienced some type of sexual trauma, whether we remember it, don't remember it, whether it happened to us, maybe it was happening to a friend of ours in the other room and we psychically experienced it, or our family members experienced it and passed on the trauma to us. Many of our great-great-great-grandmothers went through slavery, sexual slavery, prostitution, and here we are, and we're learning to own our power in the free world that we have, where we actually have laws. There are many places on the planet, and there still are many places today where sex trafficking, sexual abuse, rape, slavery is not prosecuted, where it's not safe really to be a woman at all. So we're very lucky living in the West and many parts of the world where we actually have laws that stand up for our sexual freedom and rights. However, we're still holding the pain for a lot of women and also boys and men that have been traumatized, that don't feel safe in their power and even having the law stand up for them. So we need to start coming out with our stories. We need to start sharing from a shameless space, or what I like to call a shameless, shameful place. Maybe you are, embarrassed, but you say, hey, I have really a vulnerable story to share, and I'm not afraid to share it if it's going to help somebody. I do want to give you this really powerful morsel of help, which is that if you have gone through a sexual trauma, I would highly recommend that you really set very strong, clean boundaries in your Bliss Nest. One of the things that I see my clients who've experienced sexual trauma happen in their Bliss Nests is because their boundaries were taken away as children. They feel that they have to please everybody, and then they end up feeling taken advantage of, and it creates this old loop and old cycle. If you've gone through a sexual trauma, I highly recommend having structures and systems built into your Bliss Nest, like a 48-hour cancellation policy, like having application forms that say these are the types of clients that I work with when you're doing your sexy strategy session, your complimentary 30-minute consultation before even seeing if a client's a fit. So you're literally never touching anyone, talking to anybody, unless you're divinely excited to work with them, unless it's a divine yes within you. So that you're not whoring yourself out for money, so to speak, but rather you feel a connection, you feel safe, you feel wonderful. I know as a child, I was around a lot of different energies, and as a star child, very, very sensitive, very energetically aware of what was going on. And I think I experienced some level of sexual trauma just from being an empath. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I could have my safe space. So when I launched my Bliss Nest in 2012, I would take on just anybody as a client. I would ask, would you like to work with me? But I would never ask myself, do I want to work with them? And after about a year, I realized that I had to set a filter in place. Otherwise, I was really abusing my inner child. I do feel that all women have had boundaries taken away because we hold the blueprint of rape and trauma. And it's just, we come from the animal kingdom. We come from apes that raped and cavemen and so forth, Vikings. And it's just something that happened, and we're hopefully evolving way beyond that. So we're creating twin flame agreements. However, those old shame codes, those pain codes, trauma codes really need to get ironed out right now in our Bliss Nests. When you're instilling these important structures and systems, and I teach my soulmate clients and students at Aphrodite University and in my private practice exactly how to set these boundaries in place. When you do this, and you have very clean boundaries, you can go, and you can relax into your genius. Your intuitive gifts expand rather than contract. Your genius, your intuition, your gifts, and whatever training you have, the brain blood flow comes back because you're not in fight or flight anymore. So to really optimize yourself in your blissness, my top instructions for you are to release the shame, to create really sacred structures and boundaries, and finally, it's important to come out of hiding. It's important to feel safe to come out of hiding. We're often hiding because we've been traumatized, and it's a natural fear response. We learn fight, flight, or freeze, and one of the tricks that we women have learned is hiding. So you'll often see women hiding behind, a layer of fat, or they'll be hiding behind an illusion of perfection, looking like total perfect Barbie dolls and trying to control their physical appearances to distract men or any aggressive energy that they feel vulnerable or weak. We find all these creative ways to hide in our business as we do the same thing. So in order to run a Bliss Nest, you absolutely need to come out of hiding and do the therapy and work that it takes to get over that. And I teach you exactly how to own your womb wisdom, your pussy power, and I have some great videos about that. Go ahead and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Join me for an upcoming free class at Aphrodite University to learn more tips and tools about how to unveil yourself as the goddess you are over at www.aphroditeuniversity.org. Namaste, namasko.